Dr. Benjamin, you made some astute observations and you made some recommendations. When, sir, was the last time you saw a patient in the ER?
Yeah, it's been 1995.
1995. Okay, thank you. But still, you make recommendations, and one of the things that disturbed me greatly about this pandemic is that people who are experts, who have never seen a patient for COVID, were telling physicians like myself, who saw thousands of patients, that I could not speak and that I should be censored. And that if I had a disagreement with you, because I do disagree, I think booster, first of all, let me tell you some things that might surprise you. I was one of the first people in America to get the original series of shots. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. To show in a novel virus for people who are at high risk of being exposed, and we didn't know about the age variants that much at the time. We didn't know how it was going to affect us because different diseases affect us differently. I got the vaccination gladly. But as the data developed, and even as we sorted ourselves out amongst physicians of liberals and conservative physicians, I saw a bias even amongst physicians that went against scientific data because we politicized this, because we had the government weigh in on it instead of letting physicians treat patients. And that's our biggest and most egregious insult to medicine right there. For the first time, government was able to tell us what's right and wrong, was able to tell me as a physician that my experience didn't matter. And that if I disagree with you and I said, you know what, that booster shot really isn't showing any significant benefit as science has now proven, and yet here people say, yes, you should still get the booster, even though it's not beneficial, and we don't even know all the side effects. As a matter of fact, I would make the argument right now, right here on TV, as a congressman who's also a recent physician and still qualified to treat patients, that we do more harm than good by treating people with booster shots right now. If you have immunity and you give an infection to somebody, what happens? You have an immune response. That's basic medicine. Every physician would agree on that. If you give somebody a exposure to a pathogen, whether it's a live pathogen or not, you're going to have a hyperimmune response sometimes. Sometimes that happens with antibiotics, by the way. That's why we don't give antibiotics that aren't needed. If you don't need something, why are we giving it? If you have immunity, why are we recommending it? That's my question to you as a disagreeing physician.
I love to disagree with docs. And I'm fully licensed and quite clinically still competent. And I hear you. And I'm happy to give Congress my list of things that I think Congress should stay out of the business of physicians. And I absolutely agree with you. And I'm happy to give you that list, but I'll give it to you privately.
Do you think that anybody should be censored? We talked about censorship, and I know this is not supposed to be partisan.
No, sir. Nobody should be censored.
Thank you. Everybody here has heard of Dr. Lister. Everybody's probably heard about President Garfield. It was a dissenting opinion that you should wash your hands in between patients, and the fact that physicians who were the standard of their time, who infected the president and killed him, are the ones who did bad medicine. The only progress we make in medicine is through dissent. And the biggest problem that the government did was by censoring physicians who dissented. And several of them are right here in front of us who've been done harm. I was one of those physicians who was taken off the internet because I was spreading misinformation, which now shows to be factual. The fact is, you agree, and you're on the different side of the problem equation than I am. But I'm happy that you and I agree on one thing, that physicians, professionals who do our job with good faith, should never be censored, not by a government, not by the internet, not by anybody else, because we're the ones putting our lives on the line to treat the patients the best way we know how. With that said, would you tell me why you still, based on the evidence that the CDC has published and many other studies have studied, that you still recommend a booster shot to immune people?
The studies that I've looked at, I'm very comfortable that the boosters work and enhance your immune status.
So if you're immune, you think they should still get a booster shot?
We do with lots of diseases. So we do with flu. As you see your immune status comes down, we give you a boost, increase it up. We do it with measles, mumps, and rubella.
I would say that I don't give a chicken pox shot to a 2-year-old that's already had chicken pox. I think that would be a bad case. So anyways, I would disagree with you, and once again, I'll yield because I know I'm going over time now, but thank you for your response.